Listening to the Pipe Bomb Podcast with James, Nick, Gigi, Josh, Sam, and Tom. Ring the bell.
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of the Pipe Bomb Podcast. I'm Brandy, and I'm not here alone. I have apparently our most requested panelist, James, with me.
Yes, and the crowd goes wild. Hi, guys. I've missed the listeners. I really have. But
all the James stands, where you at?
Where are they? But I'm excited to be on with you, Brandy. It's going to be fun. We haven't done one of these in a while. But what I will say is that last week we kind of fumbled. After you guys did the show, me and Nick did a Lucha Underground review. And me being the big dummy that I am, I don't know what the hell was going on. I went to go hit record, and I didn't hit record. So I thought I was recording the show, but I really wasn't.
I heard that happen like when me and Nick and Sam did the TNA Top 5.
I know, but you corrected yourself. I went throughout the whole day thinking that I had it all recorded. So the next day, I come to sit down to edit it and put it together. I'm like, where the hell is it? And I couldn't find the recording anywhere. And I was distracted because my guy was here and he was talking to me. And then I was like, oh. So everything just got all messed up. So me and Nick are going to redo that because we really want to talk Lucha. And then we got some Lucha news for you guys later on in the show.
Cool. So we haven't put anything out since Battleground, have we?
No, we haven't.
Oh my gosh, we should probably talk about that. We had because it had the big debut of Bailey.
I know, that was cool. I was thinking it was going to be Nikki Bella, but I'm okay with Bailey. I am. I thought it was cool. It was a one-off, and I'm just so glad that they didn't debut her like that and just stick her on Raw because I feel like Bailey's too important for that. But the match was fun. It was good.
Yeah, it was a really fun tag match. It worked really well, and What I liked about it is the build-up. You had Sasha. I love that she swerved us. Like, a lot of people were still sticking to their guns, like, okay, it's not Bailey. But Sasha was just so vocal about, it's not Bailey. She's in NXT. I'm up here. And so you're kind of like, oh, okay.
Where did she say this? I missed that.
Oh, it was, she did a Facebook Live for the WWE.
Oh, okay.
And she was telling stories about Bailey, and she was like, it's not that. And then she released a tweet before the match that was like, my partner is someone, I chose a partner that not even like, what is his name? Alvarez from Wrestling Observer.
Uh-huh.
He couldn't even choose. And so you're like, oh my God, who is it? Like if he doesn't even know, if Wrestling Observer doesn't know, who could it be?
That's why when I saw that tweet, I was convinced it was Nikki, that they're bringing her back early.
I didn't think it was Nikki because she had, when we were recording the drafting, she had just been released to start taking bumps in the ring again. So I was like, there's no way they're going to go from Thursday
to Sunday.
Letting her, to Sunday. It's like, unless she's just going to stand outside
That's
the whole
what I was
time.
thinking, Brandy. I thought that Sasha was going to do the heavy lifting because it was a tag match. And, every time a superstar is injured, they put them in tag matches. So I was thinking that Sasha was going to do all the heavy duty and Nikki's going to come in for a pin. That's what I was thinking because she threw me off with the not even this one can guess it. I think it was Dave Mitzler or some shit like that.
Dave Meltzer, that's his name.
So that's
where did I get Alvarez? Who is Alvarez? There's another wrestling person out there with the last name Alvarez.
Yeah.
I have to read so many dirt sheets that I can't keep up with all the people.
Right.
I pretty much, the only one I really keep up with is I'm like, this is what the Solomonster says. Keep up with the Solomonster. He's like one of my favorite guys to listen to is the Solomonster. So
I like Brian Clark from E-Wrestling News. I think he's cool.
Brian Clark, yeah. Oh, and I love the guys on What Culture too.
Oh yeah, they're funny.
They're hilarious.
But you know what other match I liked on Battleground? Sasha and the girls, they did well. I really loved Natty and Becky Lynch. I thought that match was great. I loved how Natty was working the freaking legs the whole damn match. And Natty got the win. I was here for it. I really liked that match. I liked the story that they told.
I did too. And then in the match, Natty she took some hits to the leg and she sold that hit to her own leg too. So I thought that was really awesome. And I love that Natty got the pin and it was, or not the pin, the submission. And it was like, she didn't really do anything super heelish dirty. So it was a match where Natty was just like, I am the superior wrestler.
Yeah.
What you know?
Like, a lot of people give Natty shit. Like, they get bored with her matches because Natty's not a high flyer and she's not, like, flashy because she's really technical and she's always on the ground when she's wrestling. But I love that kind of wrestling. I freaking live for it. And Natty working with Becky Lynch, the way that they were, like, moving around and applying submission holds. And I was just like, yes, I love it. I love the story that they told. And I hope this feud continues on SmackDown.
I do too, because one thing that, other than WWE, that Becky Lynch is known for, and I talk about this match a lot, is when she was 19 years old, she had a match, and it's still considered one of the top women's wrestling matches of all time, and it was all mat and ground like that. So these two women, that's their specialty, and you just get that from fans, because a lot of the casual viewers, the casual fans, and for some reason the people who feel like they got to jack their jaws on the internet are people that have never watched like true technical wrestling kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up loving people like Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, people like that. So I really love technical wrestling. So when I see Natty and Becky go at it, I'm like, yes, work that hold.
It was cool. I guess we can move on to Raw now.
Yeah, Raw, the first Raw of the new era. Started out with everyone on the thing, and we found out a lot of crazy stuff was happening on Raw. But the biggest thing on Raw, the biggest thing for female wrestling fans is that it was Sasha versus Charlotte for the title. We had that title match, and a lot of people on the internet, when it was happening, they were tweeting like, we know this match is going to be a bust. Dana's going to interfere. Why even have this match? Because we know how it's going to go. Because everyone just assumed that match was going to be for SummerSlam, that Sasha would win at SummerSlam. That's what everyone's been preaching for the past 6 months. And what do we have? Boom. We have our girl Sasha win it live on Monday Night Raw as the first new champion of the new era of wrestling.
I thought that was pretty shocking because when they first announced that there was going to be a women's title match, I was just like, really? It was like, but then I was like, okay, it's Monday Night Raw, it's the first episode, they're going to need to draw people in. So why not put Charlotte versus Sasha? People's been dying for this match. So why not Raw, come out of the gates with a big bang? So they came out with that match, and the match was flawless.
Oh my God.
God. So good. They're like peanut butter and jelly, ice cream on a cone, a sock and a shoe, a glove with a hand. They go together.
They have what's called old shoe. Like John Cena talks about that. Old shoe is what wrestlers call it when they have chemistry with each other. That's so thick. So that's like an industry term. They are old shoe.
Oh my God. Everything, a penis and a condom. Like, I could go all day about how those two just belong together, like in that fucking ring. And they have the story and the history behind it. And you know what? I'm going to rewind a bit. Remember when everybody was thinking that Paige and AJ Styles were going to be the nutrition leader? We were so misguided. We had no idea what NXT and Sasha Banks and Charlotte had for us. We had no idea. And these two just came up and just started killing shit. That match was so great. I loved how Sasha ended the match with the backstabber. There was so many times, and I loved when Charlotte got really emotional. She was like, "You'll never beat me," when she got out of the Banks statement the first time. And then when she mouthed that to Sasha Banks, and then Sasha just snatched her and took the belt away from her, I was just like, God damn, Sasha really shut this bitch up in this match. And then you go from Charlotte's freaking moonsault from the top rope to the out of the ring. I was just like, oh my God, death-defying. And then even when Sasha Banks did that dive outside of the ring, I was just like, oh my God.
That gave me shades of Lita and Trish so bad, because when Lita did that suicide dive on their match on Monday Night Raw, the historic one.
The one that she broke her
neck? Did the same thing. She dove through those ropes and she bent that way. Like Lita's was more exaggerated, really, but bent, the legs over the head like that, like how Sasha's kind of did. So I was like, ooh, gosh.
That looked nasty. I didn't know the match.
That moonsault by Charlotte, like, Charlotte's got a beautiful moonsault, but I cannot think, and I may be wrong because during the model era, I didn't watch as many matches, but I don't think that I have ever seen on WWE programming a woman climb to the top rope like that and execute a moonsault to just one single opponent.
Never. That was the first time it's happened.
That
maybe
was
Lita and Trish, but I don't even remember Lita doing that.
I've watched pretty much every Lita match ever. I've never seen her do something like that. Like, I've seen her do a side moonsaults, which is the middle rope, but I've never seen her. And Sasha is so much smaller than Charlotte that Charlotte was just like, she was just going to have to do it. And whatever happened, happened. And she did it. And it was just, there's photos where they have caught different angles of that moonsault. And it's just poetry in motion. The arc is beautiful. And she hit Sasha, but she still landed on her feet from that high up. That's
My girl
insane.
is amazing. It's
She
crazy.
If you are someone who is not a Charlotte fan, that's fine, but you cannot deny that this woman is a superior athlete. That, oh my God. Like,
that's what really like bothers me is when people are, you have your favorites, all right? Like,
yeah.
For instance, look at me. My girl just lost the belt, but I'm okay with it because I appreciate Sasha. I know she's a great talent. I'm not blind. I know Sasha is one of the best women that they have on that roster. Hands down. But I just so happen to love Charlotte. Charlotte's my girl. But I still give Sasha the same amount of respect. But, I'm a big fan of Sasha's as well. But I'm not going to shade Sasha now because she took the belt from my girl. Like, that's just so childish and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they're both phenomenal. So for people to bash Charlotte because she's a heel on TV, that's how I take it as. I'm just like, okay, you're just part of the whole, what's the word I'm looking for? The whole, kayfabe.
What we got here is a couple of haters.
A couple of haters. But, they're all, I just put it as, I categorize all the hate as kayfabe. Okay, they don't like her character. They think she's a bitch on TV. I'll leave it like at that because, you can't fight everybody who hates on Charlotte. Whatever. If you don't got haters, you ain't doing anything right. So,
Isn't it? I think it's Cat Williams. I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, and I love Cat Williams. So when he talks about, he's like, if you only have 13 haters or whatever, you need to figure out how by the end of the day you've got 16. And if there's any haters out there that don't have anyone to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
For real. So, hate. I don't care what you girls say.
Yeah. Go on, because it's still selling tickets. It's still building feuds. They're still getting their paycheck. It's like you're falling into. They want you to hate them. That's the point. They're
exactly.
A heel.
And then, to bash somebody like Charlotte who gives Sasha one of her best matches. I know people are going to be like, what are you talking about? What about Bayley? Listen. Sasha can only wrestle Bayley so many times before it gets repetitive. There's got to be other people that Sasha can, melt with and have great matches with. And Charlotte's one, Becky Lynch is one, and Bayley is definitely one. So, to sit here and just bash out, like, who do you want to see Sasha feud against? Brie Bella? Like, come on. So, I'm over it. I'm glad that Sasha got the belt. And what I will say is, Charlotte had an amazing title run with the Divas Championship and the Women's Championship. And I will go back to say what I said probably a year and a half ago, that when Sasha Banks and Charlotte and Becky Lynch make it to the main roster, there's no way in hell that the WWE is going to treat their women like they're treating the divas now at the time. And everybody was like, what are you, crazy? They're going to come in, they're going to make Sasha this, they're going to make Charlotte that. Everybody was like, blah, 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 blah. And I saw their talent. I was like, there's no way you can cover that. There's no way, because people are going to see through the bullshit. We've watched NXT, and people are going to get upset. That's how the whole Diva Revolution started, because people were watching NXT, and they were seeing great matches from Sasha and Charlotte, and they were like, what's going on in the main roster is complete bullshit. So, I told you guys, and look at it now, and let me make another statement right now that's going to happen. Those two are going to main event Raw pretty soon. I put money on it. They're going to main event, they're going to have a main event segment, or they're going to have a main event match or something after SummerSlam or before SummerSlam. I have a big feeling.
Oh, they definitely deserve it.
They had the match of the night. They had the match of the night on Monday night.
They did, and and that's just, a lot of the times, anytime those two are together, it's a match of the night. Yep. But also, we've talked about Charlotte's highlights in that match. Sasha had some really great moments in that match, and one that, for me as a wrestling fan, what I love about people like Sasha and Bayley so much is they talk about how they were, 10 and 11, and they wanted to be WWE women's wrestlers kind of deal. And they're around the same age as me. And so I totally get it. I understand, because when I was younger, I used to watch and be like, wow, I want to do that one day. And
I want to be Lita.
Yeah, like I remember in 8th
Not
grade.
only girls, I wanted to be Sable.
You wanted to be Sable? No, I wanted to be Lita. Lita was my hero. I wanted to be her. And I remember in I used to put like stuffed animals up on the couch, and I would Hurricane Rana them off things. I was obsessed. Like put mattresses down and do like swantons off of the couches and stuff like that. It's just, we did all kinds of crazy things. Like, it's the South. We had a lot of backyard wrestling, okay? But one thing is, when I was in like 8th grade, one of my teachers had mentioned that she felt like I should pursue a career in writing. And I was like, okay, well, what would I want to write about? And I was like, professional wrestling. And so I have been on that journey for a long time. Like when I started college, it was for journalism, because my dream from 8th grade, when she told me that, was, okay, I want to be a part of this. This is how I want to write for WWE magazine, because I used to collect all those, and I would cut out all the pictures and put it on my wall. And but I like didn't want to lose the articles, so I would go to the library and photocopy the articles. So I just get it. I get them so much. And for Sasha to have that moment in her match where she pays tribute to Eddie, knowing how much Eddie Guerrero meant to her when she was young, it's like, I understand, because that's how much like Lita meant to me when I was young. And so I was just so happy. Spot.
It was like so cool how they implemented that into the match, especially with Dana Brooke, to get her out of there. I thought it was so super, super cool. It was so charming. And for her to win the title on her biggest night in her career, and then to pay homage to Eddie, freaking fabulous. And then she did it at WrestleMania with the frog splash.
She did all these huge, like, first moments in her career. She's paid homage to who, made her love professional wrestling. And that just makes me connect with Sasha so much more as a fan. And for some people, just watching, it's a little blip. You're like, oh, well, that was cool. But for those of us who have traveled a similar path to them, it means a lot. Mm-hmm. And so that just, I watched this match, and I don't know about anyone else, but at the end of the match, if it's a really good women's match, I will cry. I will get so emotional and so into the story that I will cry. And when Sasha's up there with her belt and she's crying, I'm crying too. It's just,
It was cool. I don't know. It was just so happy. I was just so happy for Sasha Banks. I got a little emotional too, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I get really emotional.
It's a big deal for her.
Women's wrestling. I know what they're going through. I actually did like some back bump training, just like your basic stuff, and I know how much just hitting a mat hurts. And to see these people and to know that they've been doing it for 10, 12, 20 years, and they're just now getting to the pinnacle, and it's what they've worked there for their whole life. I just get so emotionally invested in that, and I guess I'm just a baby. I cry. I cry all the time.
Well, let's move on to SmackDown, because I want to talk about people crying.
Yeah, okay. On another note, SmackDown had the match. It had a rematch of Natty versus Becky Lynch, which I feel like it maybe was better than their Battleground match. It was a really great match.
I thought it was a great match too. It was 2 segments. They went into a commercial break and they came back. Natty was so vocal and vicious. Becky Lynch brought her A game. I loved all the ways that she was trying to maneuver Natty into this armor, and then when she finally got it, it made Natty tap. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the SmackDown women had a great showing for their first match for their newly developed division.
I did too. Like we had the match, and then what I really loved about SmackDown is that SmackDown has brought back that in-ring right after match interview.
Yeah.
And I really love that, and that's very old school.
It's important though.
It is. I love that, getting that raw reaction from them. Yeah. And so you've got Becky up there, and she's giving her little speech.
I'm Becky Balboa.
I'm Becky. Just call me Becky Balboa. And Alexa Bliss comes out, and
Let's break down each one. Let's break down each woman that came out. Alexa Bliss, go on.
Okay. I love Alexa Bliss. One, she's got new ring gear, and it looks hot. She looked fan-fucking-tastic. Like, her hair, her makeup, everything. They did her up good. enjoyed her vernacular that she used when she was delivering her promo, her word choice. It was heelish, but it was intelligent. It wasn't something that you hear all the time. And that's what makes promos stick out to me, is you can have like 100 people come out in a night and be like, I'm a bad guy, I'm gonna beat you up, blah blah. But the way Alexa was choosing her words and delivering her words, I was really impressed with it. And she didn't have, a lot of times you get like a bratty heel. In the past, Alexa has played a bratty heel, and this version of Alexa coming up had more of a confidence.
Yes.
It wasn't so much of a
exactly.
I'm a Bratz doll that's got a bad attitude.
You pulled that right out of my brain, because the thing what I thought about Alexa Bliss, when she had her match with Bayley on NXT, which was her last match on NXT, I believe, that's when I was like, you know what? She's up there now. I compare Alexa Bliss with the Becky Lynch, the Sashas, the Charlottes, and the Baileys. She's up there. She's the fifth one for me. And I'm sorry, like, some people were, like, Nick was like, I don't think she's there yet. That's what Nick was telling me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, this girl is freaking phenomenal. And one thing that Alexa Bliss has is stage presence. When she came out there, the way that she talked on that mic, the confidence was just pouring out of her freaking skin. You couldn't tell her that she wasn't the baddest bitch on SmackDown. And then her post interview, which I loved even more, the way that she was just cutting down the division and telling them that they better get ready for Alexa Bliss, that she ain't playing no game, she may be small, but you know what? And then when I see Alexa Bliss, my first thought isn't she's small.
No, me either. And
right?
That's how you know that they've got it. Is you don't even look at what size they are. You're like, that bitch is going to fuck you up. You need to calm down.
And then you see the intensity in her eyes when she's in the match, especially when she does that chokehold. And I love her moveset. Her moveset is on point. For a woman her size, and the way that she brought in her... all right, Kelly was a gymnast, okay? But Kelly didn't do goddamn anything with her background, but besides that little backflip thing that she did into the corner. That was it, and then she did that Molly go around once. That was it. You never seen Kelly fly anywhere. And Alexa Bliss used that background and incorporated it with her wrestling so phenomenal with the knees. Oh my god. Alexa Bliss is so much fun to watch, and I cannot wait until she starts wrestling on SmackDown. And I think she's going to elevate herself to become one of the premier women down on SmackDown. And I thought it was great how she came out and cut her promo, but she was cut off by Naomi, which I wasn't expecting that. I really thought...
I was so happy.
I know. I thought Alexa Bliss was coming out to start a program with Becky Lynch, and she was moving on from Natty. And then when Naomi came out and told her to shut the goddamn hell up, I was like, yes. And then she came out like a vet. She was just like, listen.
Yes, that is perfect. Because that is when she came out, a lot of times Naomi stumbles.
Yeah, she does.
But when she came out, she was like, she had that confidence, that air about her. She just had this feeling. And you were just like, as much as you felt like, Becky, you better watch because Alexa's about to mess you up. I felt that towards Alexa. I was like, Naomi about to snatch you right here on the ramp. It's just going to happen. But yes, I love that. And because it established Naomi... she has a sense of dominance. So many times in this past era, they've treated her like crap. They have made her appear weak. And I'm sorry, but we were talking about Charlotte being a super athlete. Naomi is a super athlete. That woman.
That's what always throws me off with Naomi. They always want to say on commentary that she is the most athletic woman in the locker room and blah, blah, blah. But they showcase it, but they never reward it. You know what I mean? So it bothers me. And that's why it always leads me to be like, oh, it's because she's black. That's the only reason why she isn't women's champion. If she looked like Kelly, Naomi would have been a four-time Divas champion, and probably she'd have a women's title reign by now. She would be in the mix.
Yeah. When she was a face, I was like, what the hell does this woman got to do other than get like vitiligo and become white?
For real.
Because she's gorgeous. Like by any standard white black woman, she is gorgeous.
Beautiful woman.
Incredibly talented. She was extremely over as a face. Highly entertaining to watch. What the hell?
But what I will say about Naomi is what you said earlier about sometimes she, Naomi, I don't know, sometimes she's like the wind when it comes to her promos. But lately, before she got injured, she's been on a roll. And I'm glad that she came back and just got right back where she left off. Because she came out, she didn't miss a beat. She told Alexa, she's like, why are you over here running your mouth and you haven't even stepped foot in that ring yet? And I really liked that line because it really showed where Alexa stands against a Naomi, because Naomi came out like a vet, like, I know what I'm doing around here.
It helped vet.
Yeah.
It helped vet her. Like,
she's like, I've been under the pressure. I've wrestled at WrestleManias, SummerSlams. I know what it takes to reach the top over here. So don't come in here and run your mouth. So it really established Naomi's position in the division, and it quickly established Alexa as the cocky, confident heel that's new, and she's just here barking, and she's all bark right now. You want to see her bite. So it makes the watchers, you know, the average watchers of the USA Network who don't necessarily have NXT, because not everybody has NXT, guys, and they don't know. Like my coworker, he's a big wrestling fan, so we sit there after every Monday Night Raw. He's like, Jim, did you watch wrestling last night? And I'm like, yeah. And then we'll sit down and we'll chit chat. And then every time I'll bring up the NXT people, he has no clue. He didn't even know who Finn Balor was.
Oh my God, how?
Because they don't watch the network. He's one of the casual. Him and his wife, they just turn it on and they watch Monday Night Raw, and they here and there they'll watch SmackDown, but they really enjoy Monday Night Raw. And you know, like, they don't, like, there's so many people like them, is what I'm saying, that have no idea who an Alexa Bliss is, who a Carmella is. They have no idea. So for Alexa to get established that quickly as this is who she is and people get it, I really liked it. So I was here for Naomi and Alexa's exchange real quick. But then we had another woman come out, which was another surprise. I was like, oh, wait, is Eva going to come out too later? And then she did. But we had Carmella come out. And what did you think about Carmella?
I like Carmella. I wasn't very impressed with what she had to say.
Me either.
Carmella, in NXT, the bigger part of NXT, she was a tweener heel. And so she's just now getting footing with babyface in the past few months. And really just now, in the past 3-4 months maybe, in NXT, she's been getting to have more promo time. And so it was a little weak. But she's a face that the division on SmackDown needed very badly. Yeah. Because at that point, all the women are standing there, and you realize the only face is Becky Lynch. So it was nice to see her. You know, her and Alexa Bliss have had some really great matches. So I'm sure we'll see those two feud a bit.
What I will say about Carmella is, the reason why she was just a footnote for me in this whole segment is because they made her come out and do her regular shtick, like, and the fabulous one from blah, you know, her whole little thing. Mm-hmm. I wish they did not do that. And if that's what they wanted her to do, I wanted her to change she's the princess of Staten Island. That needs to change, because you're not at Staten Island every night, sweetheart. It needs to be, I'm the princess of Smackdown or something. And you know what I mean? Like, she needs to switch it up if that's what she's going to use. And I just wish she talked like everybody else did. Come out and put the other two together. Don't come and tell us that you're going to make SmackDown fabulous and this, that, and the third. I wanted her to come and tell Naomi and them that she's going to beat them down so bad that she's going to come out as the most fabulous woman in SmackDown or whatever. I wanted her to put herself over a little more than using her whole little shtick. Like, she should have saved that for her debut match.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, we had Alexa come out who gave a fantastic little sound bite and was totally different than what we've heard from her before. Naomi came out, her game has stepped up, and it was different. And then Alexa, like you said, came out and did the same song and dance. And honestly, as a face, especially when she talks, I'm not that high on Carmella.
As a talker?
I want to like her, I really do. But there's this formula with faces where they feel like they need to constantly make them talk about how they're an underdog or how they're going to try their best and things like that, and it's just so cheesy.
Wait, did you see her exchange with Alexa Bliss on NXT? The whole little backstage segment a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
That was super good for me. Like, I think that she can go there, but I feel like the producers fucked her over. Like, the person to blame for me is the producers backstage, not Carmella, because they wanted the fans to already get from, like, this was all just a big introduction of the new division. This is all it was. It was just like, this is who we have, and this is who we're gonna go with, and this is who they are. And I feel like they wanted the fans to automatically know her whole thing, because Enzo comes out with the "in the 7 foot tall" and you can't teach that, and she has her own little thing. So I feel like they wanted the fans to quickly get accustomed to that, and I just feel like it was a bad idea, and it was a bad timing for that, because this is the time when all the women are putting each other over, cussing each other out.
Let that continue to be part of her coming down to the ring,
right? Not when she's here trying to fit in her spot in the division. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that she says to the crowd, not the competitors.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the match, or the promo between her and Alexa was great. I wish they had used something like that on SmackDown.
Yeah.
If we can get more of that and less of that. Because, like, a lot of times when she was doing stuff with Bailey on NXT, it would be a bit hokey. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like her and Bliss having the stuff that they had going on at NXT, I want Carmella to be a face, but I want her to be sassy. I don't want her to lose her edge just because she's a face.
I think she's going to be good. I think she's going to adjust. And I think the next showing of Carmella will be great. I'm not going to judge her off of one appearance on SmackDown. Absolutely not. The person I'm going to blame is the producers. You guys gave everybody cool shit, and you guys forgot about Carmella. Period. It is what it is. And then the lights go dim, and then we got a red spotlight, which I love the cinematography of Eva Marie's entrance. I love it. But one thing I don't like is how goddamn long that introduction is. The most extravagant. And the guy sounds so dry, like the Sahara Desert, like Betty White's Kuha dry. So bad. I was just like, oh, I don't like his voice. I kind of liked it when Eden Styles was doing it on the live shows, because she made it seem like she's being forced to say it, and I kind of like that a little better. But if they're gonna have like an audio of it, have somebody with more confidence, or how you watch on the Oscars when they announce like so and so coming up next, blah 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 blah. Like, they should have a narrator like that can really like put her over really good. But anyways, whatever. It's too long. They need to cut it down. Girl, bye. And then she came out. She opened up her and she revealed her outfit, all red, everything. And she just came out. She had nothing to say, which I love. Eva Marie shouldn't say anything. She should be a mute, and all she should do is cheat, pay people to win, and I just can't. Eva Marie is I know this is not going to be a popular thing to say, but she's one of the women that I'm most excited to see what they do with on SmackDown.
I am too.
I'm curious.
My feelings on Eva Marie. Okay. I'm not a fan of the guy's voice necessarily, but we've seen the Eden Style stuff. I actually saw a clip on one of the live events where the same track is playing, but it lasts the whole entirety of from when she comes down until she gets in the ring. And that works much better. She's like showboating all the way to the ring as this guy.
That would work better.
That would work better. And that's what I wish that she did. Instead of just standing at the top of the ramp, I wish she had just blown past Carmella and Naomi and Alexa Bliss and got in the ring in front of Becky just spinning.
And then disrobe.
Yeah, and disrobe. Because she could have blocked out the view of Becky with the robe. It could have been really snooty. Yeah. That's what I want. I want more snootiness from Eva Marie. Which,
I want too.
They had a limited time.
Yeah.
I get that, but
like we said, it was a big introduction of the division. Could they have done other things? Yeah. But am I happy with it? Yes, because it established everybody. We got to see everybody. We had a 2-segment match, and then we had a 3rd segment with all of the other women. And then you turn to Twitter. Oh my Lord. Twitter was on fire. They broke the internet. Everybody was upset. Oh, what the fuck? Did you see Raw? The women on Raw had this Sasha and Charlotte's match, and then we get this? What was that? That was so stupid. Blah, blah, blah. And they're comparing it. I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I was like, hold on, Blake. I'm calling you out, boo. Was it Blake? I think it was Blake. He was so upset. He's like, oh, the women on Raw had the title match and everything. I was like, exactly. The women on Raw has a title. The women on Raw has a built-in feud going on. The women on Raw is Sasha Banks and fucking Charlotte, who's had a feud that stems from NXT, and people have been dying to see this match for over a year now on the main roster. So obvious fuckingly, them two are gonna shine. And obviously, the women of Raw are gonna have the bigger week this week. Sasha Banks won the women's championship. I don't care what you do.
It doesn't get any bigger than that.
It don't get no fucking bigger than Sasha Banks winning her fucking belt. I'm sorry. You could have had fucking a 5-star match from Alexa Bliss and Naomi, because everybody's dying to see those two wrestle. Me too. But you could have had a 10-star match. Nothing's gonna overshadow the women's championships changing hands, especially from a Charlotte to a Sasha Banks. Like, come on, guys. And then they completely ran over SmackDown off of one episode. I was like, what you guys failed to realize is SmackDown is basically a refresh, brand new start. They're on a live show now. They have a brand new fucking roster. They brought up, two of the women have never been on WWE TV. One of the women was gone for almost 4 months filming a movie, and now she's back, and she was unutilized when she was with the main roster. And then you have the other woman who hasn't really been on TV in over 2 years on main roster, except for she came out for the WrestleMania spot, Eva Marie, and now she's back. They gotta reintroduce these women. So for people to think that SmackDown's gonna come out in one night, build all this history and all this feuding and in this one night and create a magical moment to compare to Sasha Banks winning the women's championship, girl, bye, good night. Like, that was just the most comical, and I hate saying this, but that's just so stupid. How could you be so stupid to even say, like, to even drag them like that? I was just like, oh my god, like, this is why they call wrestling fans dumb.
Yes, and then you're speaking to my heart on this.
No, it really frustrates me. I was like, this is why they really think we're all stupid. Because the fans are just so dumb. Like, I'm sorry, fans are dumb. Not you, Blake. I know you got some. You have some good shine on you, bitch. I'm not calling you stupid, but I'm talking about, like, it wasn't only you. It wasn't only you. Like, some fans, they're just so stupid.
I mean, I watched it, and I was really pleased with the segment. I was like, yes, that is one of the best ways they could have gone about establishing
get everybody.
Woman. Their whole roster's out there,
right? So
that was perfect. That was, now everyone knows what you look like. Next week, we're going to kick it off with how we're going to run this show.
Mm-hmm.
NoDQ.com, which is a wrestling blog site or whatever, they made a comment on Twitter about how that it was boring, and they're a channel. The women of SmackDown are obviously going to be a channel changer. And I was just like,
after one segment,
I was just like, I had to take the earrings off, kind of deal. I was like, all right. Now I'm upset because I was like, damn, like, literally don't bury them before they, I mean, like you said, so, Monday Night Raw has the women's title. There's nothing bigger than that title. Mm-hmm. Sasha and Charlotte have been the top two of the women's division for over a year. This feud has been, just this feud on the main roster has been a year in the making. Of course, nothing that SmackDown could have done was going to even hold a candle to that.
I know.
Because that is a year, at the very least, a year of investment in these characters, a year of matches, a year of history, a year of people being screwed out of stuff, all this emotional investment. It's a year of storytelling. Exactly. And that's what these fans can't understand.
It's all rush. It's all cut and paste.
It's a process. It's a progression of events that have to happen. You saw all these storylines just be created on SmackDown between these women. The seed. And you can't be excited that you just saw the seed between all these women being planted. You can't get hyped about what's going to happen next week. Like, these two have never meshed. And so I'm just like, you're stupid.
They planted a great seed. Naomi and Alexa Bliss. It's a dream match. People have been dying to see this, and they planted it. And people are like, oh, this is whack. This is stupid. Let it build. This is what really frustrates me. Is they're so over, okay, the storytelling part. we had the whole Sasha Banks and everything. We had fucking Charlotte, the way that she ran through that division as she was champion, cheating with her dad. Her dad screwing Sasha out of the title at WrestleMania, and then for Sasha to have her big moment like that on a Monday Night Raw, the first episode, and then she paid homage to Eddie Guerrero. Sasha doesn't pay homage to Eddie Guerrero in every match. She does it in her big moments, like Brandy, you said earlier. Mm-hmm. And then to go to compare that off of first of all, the women had like 15 minutes on the show. I think it was like almost 20 minutes because it was a 2-segment. And then they had the thing. I think it was like between 15 to 18 minute segment or something like that. But the women were on TV for a good time. I feel like they had a good spot. You gotta let the story build. Like, there's no way in hell that would. You know what? I bet you any money they wanted like countless backstage segments to lead into a match. Maybe then they would have been happy. I don't get it. They're like, well, they could have did something else. Well, you tell me what they could have did.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
What can they do to establish these women that nobody even knows who they are? My coworker has no idea who Alexa Bliss is. He has no idea who Carmella is. So if they go out there and win a match, they'll be like, okay, whatever, she won a match. Oh my God, you know who we forgot to talk about on Monday Night Raw?
Who?
Nia Jax.
Oh shit!
How dare we?
Because because I was talking about crying and we moved on fast.
Oh yeah. Well, quickly to Nia. My girl came out and it was a quick match. How do you feel about them putting enhancement talent on Monday Night Raw? I fucking love it.
I did too, because it showed that they care about their women's division and that they're protecting their stars. I like that.
Like Tom was saying that it should have been Alicia Fox out there getting a dragon by Nia.
He is
I was
so
like, absolutely
high on
not.
Like fucking over Summer and Foxy.
Getting
and I'm like,
squashed.
No, stop. The era of dumping shit on their female talent is over.
It's over.
We are moving into they're all tough competitors now.
Exactly, because like this is, you know what they're doing exactly with Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. I guess now we could talk about both of the shows because we covered everything. I think now with Raw and SmackDown, they're following the formula of NXT because it's fucking worked and people love NXT. NXT never has their women or men get squashed just to show off another one and build them up for a title match or a big type fight field. So Nia Jax has done this on NXT where she came in and she ran through all these enhancement talents before she started getting into her matches with Asuka and Bailey. You know, get people familiarized with her. And I think when she came out and she just dragged that girl around, I thought it was amazing. I was just like, yes, I need more of this. And then for people like Tom to be like, oh, that should have been a spot for Alicia Fox. Absolutely not. Alicia Fox needs to have her own enhancement talent to come in so she can whip their ass and show them that she's a competitor too. Because these women are all they got. They all need to be hot because it's their division. It's separate. Now they're in competition. So why the hell do you want Nia Jax to come out and take out 2 competitors on the main roster that have legitimized themselves as characters on TV? It just makes no fucking sense. So when I saw that random girl standing in the middle of the ring, I was here for it.
I was too. That was Britt Baker, by the way, for the listeners.
She's pretty girl.
She is. I'm not quite. She's not signed to NXT, so she really was just a local talent. But I do believe she's either had or is going to be having a tryout. But I was pleased with that because the people who are saying, oh, it should have been a spot for Alicia or a spot for Summer, are the same people who have been complaining for a year about the poor treatment of Alicia Fox and Summer Rae, and it's like,
and then they want her to go get squashed.
What does it do for either of those characters to go out on Monday Night Raw and get squashed by a newcomer, even if it is Nia Jax?
It makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
He's still like into it. He's like, I think it's gonna happen. Blah 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 blah. I was like, listen, you're so stuck with old school booking right now, and they've moved past that. I was like, let it go. Like today, he brought up. I love giving my Tom stories. Today, he brought up bringing back Shelton Benjamin's mama. Because Shelton Benjamin's coming back. I was like, is he kidding me? That's the most stereotypical, like, fucking gimmick that WWE has ever done. Put a black boy with his mama that's so proud that her black boy is doing so well. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, that was just pure trash, and it was the demise of Shelton Benjamin's career in WWE. And then for him to bring that up, I was like, what kind of crack do they have in UK? That's what I wanted to know. Because I was like, what is Tom sniffing? I couldn't deal with it. But
Shelton Benjamin is a no gimmick needed kind of sign.
No, he
can just come in and be like, I'm fucking Shelton Benjamin. And I'm like, yes, you are, sir.
And you know what? He was so needed. So needed. So,
Yes,
and you know how we
he
have...
just added huge credibility to that roster.
So, before we go into NXT, I want to talk a little more about SmackDown. So, you know how Shane came out with the whole Heath Slater thing, and Heath Slater saying that he's the free agent and blah, 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 that he's the hottest agent out right now, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody put out a tweet on Twitter, but before I seen this, let me say it first. I think that Nikki Bella is going to end up on SmackDown. Her whole family's there. Daniel's there. Bree travels with Daniel. Cena's there. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. They're filming Total Bellas. So I think the spot for Nikki Bella, and she's needed.
She is.
SmackDown.
She's a huge name right now in women's wrestling. She's needed.
She's
on
needed
SmackDown.
on SmackDown. And I think when she comes in, I think that's when they're going to introduce the SmackDown Women's Championship. I really think they're going to do it. I don't know what they're going to call it.
I would hate it for Nikki Bella to be there first. I like Nikki Bella.
I'm excited for her comeback. I really am. I'm excited to see what she's going to do without Brie Bella. I really hope Brie don't pop up. Like, no shade to Brie. Girl, you've been looking flawless on fucking Instagram. Nobody does it like Brie Bella. A lot of people think I hate Brie Bella. I just get bothered with her performances, especially when she's on the mic. It really bothers me because at the end of the day, she is compared to her sister. They're twin sisters. You're gonna compare the two, and then you compare her to the other women on the roster. Brie just falls short when it comes to talking on the mic, and that's a big part of wrestling for me. But anyways, I'm not gonna go into all that because she's not wrestling anymore. Brie, have a baby.
She is currently on that fertility diet, so they are like as actively trying to get pregnant as you can get. They probably screw him backstage at SmackDown, just coming up to Brian before his having to go out segments. Just like, I'm ovulating. Let's go to the showers real quick.
I'm all for it. Brie, have your babies. Have a happy life, girl. Just do it. And then come back later. Do something else after you have your baby. You know, you don't got to wrestle. You can come back, be Daniel's assistant on TV. I'd be here for it. I wouldn't care. Whatever.
Transition into that Miss Elizabeth role a little bit.
Yeah, whatever. But when it comes to Nikki Bella, so a fan tweeted out that I think the hottest free agent is Nikki Bella, not Heath Slater, and they put a GIF, and Nikki Bella retweeted it for SmackDown. So I think that's basically confirmation that Nikki Bella will end up on SmackDown. And I think that's the best spot for her. Raw is stacked right now. With Nikki Bella, she's not needed on Raw. She's needed on SmackDown. SmackDown needs that star power in their women's division. Yeah. And as much haters as Nikki Bella has, she has more fans than haters because that girl is followed by 4.5 million people on fucking Instagram. That is the most of any women wrestler in history. Wow. She has the biggest following.
That has grown
huge.
1 million people in a year.
Yeah. It's a big deal. It's huge, and people don't give her enough credit. And I'm just like back in the day, Blake used to be like, oh, she's this, she's the top girl, blah, blah, blah. And I was even like, no, it's AJ. But Blake saw the progression, because, he's a big fan of hers. And he saw the progression, he saw the growth, the snowball effect. He's like, no, she's big, give her by this time. Da, da, da. He was right. She blew up. That reality show took the Bella Twins to a whole nother level.
Yeah, and what people don't understand is they want to credit it just to that, but what they didn't want to see, because wrestling fans like to have that select vision. Because wait, no, this person on this forum said we hate her this week, so we hate her. We can't give her any credit. Every time Nikki Bella would get injured, she'd come back stronger and harder. And that woman, when she came back from that first shin injury that she had, because it was on Total Divas, showed all that. She came back a beast, and she just kept going. So she, she's needed on SmackDown because she has more than earned the credit that she has now, and she deserves to get to shine in that on SmackDown.
Yeah. So I think it's safe to say that Nikki Bella will be on SmackDown. Pretty sure. And when do you think she's going to come? Do you think it's going to be after SummerSlam, at the SmackDown pay-per-view? Because I know that SmackDown's getting the first pay-per-view. And it's called Backlash. So they brought back Backlash. I love Backlash. But
I feel like
she's coming soon.
I would think so too. They're really showcasing that she's in the ring working out with Bailey and stuff like that. So it can't be
too long. She has a new finisher.
I know. I wonder what it is. Has she released what it is yet?
No.
bitch better not. You better hold on till you win your comeback match.
I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be a submission hold because submission holds are starting to become popular, and that's the whole new thing. Everybody wants to do a submission hold these days. But Nikki Bella being such a strong powerhouse, I don't know. And she said that Daniel was helping her out with it, with a finisher. I'm just excited to see it. And you know what? She's a good competitor. Nikki Bella can go. She could give you a match. Her last match was her best match ever.
Oh, yeah, Charlotte.
So I just can't wait to see her work with Becky Lynch. I want to see, and then her best friend in the roster, Natty, is on SmackDown as well. Her and Natty are close.
Mm-hmm.
So and Nikki Bella has enough pull in the company that she can be like, I'll go to SmackDown. They'll be like, okay, you know what I mean? Like it makes more sense for her to go to SmackDown. So I'm excited for Nikki. I really am. And I'm looking forward to you can look, but you can't touch the hit on the Titantron. I will get my
life. Because she's going to get a pop.
She will. She'll be
And, like, at the end of the day, if you didn't like Nikki Bella before, you still don't have to like her. But you have to respect her. She gave her fucking neck for you.
Yeah, I know.
Respect as a fan. If you like professional wrestling, you should at least respect the fact that the woman gave her fucking neck for you. That's how I feel about it.
That I grew so much respect for her after her whole neck injury because I never bashed Nikki. Throughout the whole entirety of this show, I've always given her... Have I been honest? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. When she did something like the whole... What mainly gave a bad taste in my mouth with Nikki Bella was that one comment that she made about she don't think women should main event and blah, 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 blah. Well, she changed her tune quickly after Sasha and Charlotte did it. She changed her tune. But I was like, I'm glad that she womaned up and she was like, she was wrong or whatever. And now she supports it and blah, blah, blah. And she feels like women can do it. So whatever, you learn from your mistakes. But I've never came at her for her performance because I really thought that she was a strong performer. I did. I think Nikki Bella's great on the mic. Like a lot of people get upset with her on the mic with the whole, and you know what? I think that's her thing. She's a Valley girl. That's how they talk. You know what? Really,
they really give no credence to the fact of like that's just how.
That's how they speak. That's how they speak in the West Coast. Like, come on, like, all right.
It adds to a reason for you to hate her. I talked about. I went back after she lost her title and I watched all those matches, and this is when I realized my respect for her grew.
Yeah, I remember you telling me this a while ago.
Because during the reign, I was just like, this bitch, she is so annoying and blase. And when I went back and watched it from a removed perspective and just watched the work, I was like, holy shit. I was like, I didn't even notice any of this. And I like pride myself on noticing things about professional wrestling. I didn't notice any of this, which made me go, job well done. You had me so busy hating your ass and wishing you'd lose that title and wishing you'd just shut the hell up that I didn't even notice.
See, my thing with Nikki was, I was mad at her booking. I was never mad at her.
Yeah.
Her booking was just awful. Because that's when they really didn't give a shit and they were trying to figure out what they're going to do with the division because it was like post-Divas Revolution. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do and they're trying to establish Sasha and Charlotte without having Nikki Bella squash them as champion. I can understand that the company and the writing team, they were in an awkward position at that point and they were trying to get, the girls from NXT some light, and then to still keep Nikki Bella relevant. It was hard, but I don't give a fuck if it's hard. Figure it out. You guys get paid to entertain us. And that fucking booking for Nikki Bella was so poor and so disrespectful. And for you to think that I will throw I try to go in for that fucking Miss Joanne the Scammer promo. I know some listeners out there know exactly who I'm talking about, Joanne the Scammer. So go in the comments and let me know. Brandy, you're probably like, who the fuck is Joanne the Scammer?
I don't
But I know Gigi knows who Joanne the Scammer, and I know a couple of our listeners. I'm sure they know who she is. But anyways, I'm excited for Nikki. I'm super excited for Nikki. So.
Yeah, I just want to kind of point out to fans because I made this connection last night. Okay, what they don't seem to understand is that the WWE. A while ago, Triple H said, we know what the problem is and we're working to fix it. It's a process. It takes time.
Right.
And no one wanted to believe that. Although now we're sitting on the other end of it going, oh, wait, here's all this progress he was talking about with that process. It didn't just happen overnight. They just didn't wake up one day and go, oh, my God, we should magically listen today. They've been listening over time, and they've been having to work to get where they are. And a perfect example of that is the Cruiserweight Challenge, because the Cruiserweight Challenge, like everyone... A lot of people are talking about it. It's this huge thing for wrestling. It's this huge thing for cruiserweights. Like, they've moved the weight class down from 225 to 205. So it's this big deal.
It's a big deal for wrestling.
That was 4 years in the making. That means in 2012, before NXT even got hot, when shitty shit was happening with wrestling, Triple H is like behind the scenes working on some shit to make wrestling better.
So remember when that whole thing came out when when Triple H was making deals with other promotions and he was trying to get Lucha Underground on board. He got Evolve on board and Ring of Honor, and then he was trying to get them. It was all for the Cruiserweight Classics. Now it all makes sense because at first I was like, what the fuck is he gonna do with the Lucha Underground people? He was just trying to get them so he can sign them over. But Lucha Underground didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it. So that's why we didn't get no Prince Puma or Angelico and all of that. Because Lucha Underground was like, no, we're going to do our own thing. You know, no disrespect to them. Lucha Underground is doing their own damn thing. And I got some news for Lucha Underground for all the Lucha fans later. But, you know, Triple H is just a genius, and he knows exactly where this business needs to go. And he's doing a great job. Look at the freaking network. That was his idea. And it's freaking huge. And he's trying to open it, especially with that Cruiserweight Classics. Now that it just expands the whole wrestling world. We're getting people that wrestle all over the world on the Cruiserweight Classics. Can you imagine the next one, the next saga? Like, they could do a women's one. They could do a heavyweight one.
Well, they're going to start doing... The Cruiserweight Classic is going to be a yearly thing now. It's been so successful, it's going to be a yearly thing.
And now they're bringing the Cruiserweight division onto Monday Night Raw, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And Neville's gonna freaking storm ride that one. He's gonna be the top guy for that.
Oh yeah. How much does Apollo Crews weigh? Is he going to be considered? No, he's not. No, he's over 205, so he's still gonna be a heavyweight.
He's over.
So yeah, that's the only person I really saw. Maybe but yeah, no. Neville's gonna rule that with his purple cape for a while.
I thought Kalisto, they would put Kalisto there, but I know that SmackDown has a big Latino heavy drive ratings. Like, they have a lot of Latinos. That's why Alberto and Kalisto are down on SmackDown, because they're big, popular people in the Latino community. But I could see that's probably why Kalisto went over to SmackDown. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for the Cruiserweight division on Monday Night Raw. I really am. You think they're gonna bring in a belt? I think they have too many belts.
I don't know.
They're bringing in that universe. How do you feel about the name of the
belt? I mean, it would make sense for them to have a Cruiserweight belt, because what are they fighting for?
Right. How do you feel about the Universal Heavyweight Championship? Do you like the name?
No, I don't really care for the name, because I feel like it kind of shades the WWE title. For the longest time, the top title has been called the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE title. And now it's like, oh, SmackDown's got the WWE title. Fine. We've got the Universal title.
I don't know. I think the name is going to have to grow on me. So I can't really say if I like it yet, if I don't like it. Because Universal, like, whatever. But
that's a long word.
Yeah. I don't know.
What are they going to call it? It's the WUT title. W-U-T. Or W-C. Look.
I don't know. Let's talk some SmackDown. Let's talk about something that we do. I mean, some NXT. What we know and like. Now, NXT is starting to showcase their new talent. And Brandy, that video that you sent today was so freaking cool. I really like it, so thank you for that. And I will tell the listeners what it was when we really get into NXT. But, Billie Kay came out, and she had a full entrance, and I loved her entrance with the whole robe, how she was twirling around, the robe was flying around. She just looks so, like, I don't know how to describe her. Very dominatrix, very, with the satin. I don't know, she looks like a tall gothic Barbie doll to me, for some reason. But she had a match with Santana Garrett, and she got a win with that big boot to the face, and Santana Garrett came out. Santana Garrett looks hot. I don't know why WWE hasn't signed her yet.
Is this Billie Kay's first televised win? I think it is.
I think it is too. Yeah, I think it is.
I loved it. Her music when
you love her theme.
I'm a big fan of like classical music operas and stuff. So when it started playing, I was just like, oh my God, that is so perfect. Because she's doing the lace mask. She's doing the long opera gloves. I'm like, this is so perfect. Oh, this was the best thing you could have chosen for her.
I loved it. I loved her finisher, the big boot. I thought it was super, super effective. I thought it was really, really good. And I'm glad that NXT is finally, like, now they have no choice but to make that shift into the new women. So I'm glad that Billie Kay was the first one, because we haven't seen her in so long since her Smackdown impromptu match with Dana Brooke. To make Dana look strong going into the pay-per-view. But I'm excited for her, and that big boot finisher is so effective. Big boots has always been one of my favorite maneuvers in wrestling. I love it. I do a big boot to my friends all the time. Ask them. I'll always pretend to kick them in the face. I'll put my feet up and down.
Oh my God.
I kicked my cereal bowl right off my desk.
Oh my God. Last episode, it was Mormons at the door. So James cereal bowl. Oh my gosh.
The listeners.
We do super kicks, but like I have one friend in particular that did a lot of like wrestling stuff, a lot of wrestling training, and I will Luthez press him if we are anywhere near like a couch. And it scares the shit out of people, but he knows how to sell it like perfectly. So
really? Yeah, I just taught Nate how to sell a chop, because I like to chop him all the time, so I'll just chop him across the chest. He's like, oh, do that thing, the chops. And I was like, oh, okay. He loves it. So I always chop him across the chest. It's
when
fun.
my sister and I were younger, we used to do a lot of submissions.
Oh,
and
really?
She put me in a crippler crossface one time and almost separated my shoulder. So
I got tombstone once and lost feeling in my arm.
Oh
that was scary. Oh my God. My brother completely missed the mattress and tombstoned me right on the carpet.
Oh my God.
Painful.
Yeah, my best friend, his name is Devo, and he super kicks constantly.
Yeah, I always do the big boot. That's my friends. I always do it. I'll do a super kick too. It's fun. It's so much fun. And they never expect it when I do it. They're just like, oh my God, how'd your leg get so high up?
Oh yeah, well it is fun. And just because you're an adult now doesn't mean you can't play around.
Like, what are you doing?
When I, a few years ago when my roommate moved out of the house that I live in now, I didn't have any furniture, and so my mattress was in the living room kind of deal, and we would just do all kind like suplexes and DDTs, and like Dino can do a lot of high flying stuff, so he was doing like just crazy stuff. And I had this big stuffed animal. We were power bombing it, like we wrestled all over the house kind of deal. So
yeah,
just because you're an adult doesn't mean you have to stop playing. You can still play.
Right, exactly. You tell them. And if I see the listeners, if you guys ever meet me in person, like at a wrestling event or anything, I will big boot you. You better sell it. God damn it.
I may super kick you. I promise I will not Luthez press you, because I am not a small girl to be doing a Luthez press. Okay.
But let's get back to NXT. Let's talk about what's really going on in wrestling.
Now that we've talked about our wrestling careers, let's get
know.
Oh my God, this dog I'm babysitting. I want to apologize to the listeners. I'm babysitting a dog, and she keeps barking. I don't know if y'all can hear that.
I haven't heard it once.
I
didn't hear it. Wow.
Oh, good. I have a noise-canceling mic, so hopefully it's canceling.
It's doing a good job, because I haven't heard it.
Okay, but back to NXT.
Let's talk about Bayley. So Bayley officially challenged Asuka at TakeOver Brooklyn for the NXT Women's Championship match, which is phenomenal. I think that's a good spot for Bayley, and I think this is going to be Bayley's curtain call in NXT. And I'm excited for this match. I can't wait for it, because Bayley really... It's
going to be hot, because it's going to be her calling card. It's going to be we hadn't seen Asuka in a while, so she's been training with Bayley.
You know what? Is Bayley going to take that belt and become a 2-time NXT Women's Champion? That's the main question, because they don't have enough time to build somebody that big to help. Bayley is the stamp of NXT. Now that Finn Balor's called up and everything, Bayley sells tickets.
Yeah.
So,
I can see it going a couple of ways.
Yeah, right.
I can see them.
It's a good problem.
Giving it to Bayley for the simple fact that she is like the big person besides Shinsuke now down in NXT. Because let's face it, Shinsuke overshadows Samoa Joe. Like people.
I think Samoa Joe has a big following too, though. He has a huge
but
following.
like as far as like the people who aren't following Samoa Joe from his TNA Ring of Honor days, Shinsuke, and even the people who are following him from those days, Shinsuke overshadows Samoa. I can't talk.
I don't know, Brandy. I think I'm gonna have to fight that because, all right, Samoa Joe is popular in New York and the northeastern, like Chicago, the big wrestling states, New York, Boston. Samoa Joe is huge around here because when he came, when him and Shinsei, when I went to the NXT live show and they teased the match between the two of them, I believe that was the first time they teased it was at that live show I went to, and I have it on camera. Damn, I wish I did my vlog, but it's just too much. But we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do the vlogs, guys. It's gonna be all done on Instagram. All right, I'm putting that out there right now. Every time we go to a wrestling event, whoever goes, Brandy goes, you're going to take the Instagram, you're just going to upload your shit on Instagram. We got to use our Instagram for something, so why not the shows when we go to live shows? Anyways, they were like, Shinsuke, Shinsuke Joe. It was just like, and people were like, yes. It was so split. So I can only imagine it in Brooklyn, how electrifying that match is going to be. And I understand what you're saying, that Shinsuke is the bigger star, the worldwide bigger star, but I feel like Samoa Joe still has a lot of credibility in him, and I still feel like he puts a lot of seats on those, a lot of asses in those seats. I really believe that.
Yep, we will just have to wait for the tail of the tape, I suppose. But like, look, I am like a huge. I think I have come to open up more in the group chat these days, and so my extreme love for all things Asian has come out in the group chat, where I've been like super excited about all the Asian wrestlers. So for me, of course, like with my predisposition to just loving Asian culture, Asian men, Asian people in general, I'm like Shinsuke hands down. Greater than Joe.
What? But you know who you're forgetting? My Asian love.
Hideo Itami.
And I know the listeners are not too familiarized about my love for Hideo, but you guys are, because I talk about it in the group text. How about she's my bae? I love Hideo, and I'm so excited that he's coming back. And I heard that he's been working on his English, and people are saying that his English is really, really good now. And that's what he's been doing while he's been rehabbing his shoulder. And he's been out for almost 1.5 years now.
I know, it's taken him so long. And
so
I saw, Solo Monster had a thing out where he was asking, has the ship sailed for Hideo to be a top star? And I'm like, how dare you? How dare you, like, cheapen his talent? He's incredible. He's a lot of the reason why the people that we consider are so big and so amazing now, they come from New Japan. A lot of the reason they had the opportunity to get that big is because he left.
Exactly.
So don't even when he comes back and he has a strong style match with Shinsuke Nakamura, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember you.
See, that's why I'm like, why? What would possess you to say that? The guy's been fucking injured. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's in the ring slacking and like we're like, damn, he fell off. You know what I mean? It's like, nothing like that.
What Finn has been enjoying this whole time, that was meant for Hideo.
I don't think so. I think it was the whole feud. I think what Samoa Joe has been enjoying was for Hideo.
You think a heel turn was for Hideo?
Yes.
Well, then I'm glad that then I think that it was probably with Shinsuke being face. You never know if they're going to bring Hideo in as face or heel. Be interesting. I'm ready to see him hit that GTS.
Yes.
On WWE programming.
You better do it at TakeOver.
Yeah, he did it at some live events. Just kind of like teasing it out there. But I'm ready to see everyone come up out their seats.
Well, speaking of live events, let's talk about that. So everybody, you guys know how NXT has been promoting the whole fan access. Come to the Performance Center, and you guys can come and check out the Performance Center and meet all the superstars and yada yada yada. Well, Liv Morgan had a little promo down at the Performance Center, and Brandy, I'll let you finish because you're the one who found this masterpiece and sent it to us.
Well, Liv, who is one of my loves from the new guard that's coming up, I just have really taken to her.
Me too.
So
I like.
the announcer comes out and he brings Liv out, who I was super impressed. She was great on the mic. She was very natural speaking, entertaining. And so she comes out and she's talking about how Bailey had just been on Battleground, how they just had a bunch of women called up and everything like that. And she was kind of putting herself over and the division over when we have Miss Athena Reese, known now as Ember Moon, head on down to ringside and have a little standoff with Liv in the ring.
I really like how she cut her off when she was like talking. She goes, "Wait a minute, Liv." I love that line. She's like, "Nah, wait a minute, Liv."
It was so condescending. Just like okay, it's like sometimes in the chat when someone's getting sassy and James just has to say, "No, wait a minute."
I know. I think that's why I love it. Because I do that all the time when somebody's saying something that I'm like, "What, bitch?" I don't even give them time to finish. I just jump in. Like, let's start with what you just said right now. I don't want to hear the rest.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you gotta go. I go right for the head. And I like how she did that. Because Liv was over there talking about how she's gonna do extra squats and extra curl-ups.
And I loved that.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm gonna do this because I want that top spot." And then Amber Moon was like, you can keep doing what you've been doing. You're still not going to get that top spot because that top spot was for me. That top spot has my name on it before I even entered NXT. I was like, yes! Yeah. I love that line. She's
and really,
had
that's
that
kind
top
of what
spot.
I've been saying, because if Bailey doesn't take that title off Asuka, I think that it's going to be Ember to take it off her, because that's the money match out of all the women that they've got on NXT Ember right now. Asuka versus Ember, who they're the money match, but from back when they were Kana versus Athena. So
I think that's the seed right there. What she said, she's like, that I'm gonna be the one to take that belt off of her. Because honestly, there's nobody on that NXT roster besides Athena or Ember Moon. I almost called her Cobra Moon from Lucha Underground. My girl, I love her. But anyways, Ember Moon. There's nobody else that's like legit enough. You know what? I think Billie Kay might get built up before Amber Moon comes in to snatch that belt. I think Billie Kay might get a title match against Asuka, but I think it's gonna be Amber who takes the cake. Definitely. After maybe a 2-part series match, maybe she'll lose the first one and then the second one she'll win the belt. I believe it. And
because
I'm excited to see it.
We know the kind of matches that Ember has to deliver.
And her Nia matches, gold.
And out of all of the women that are on NXT right now, she's got the best finisher. If they don't let her keep the O face, I'm going to be so mad.
Oh, they definitely let her keep that. That's her signature. That's everything. That move is so impactful. I think it's one of the best finishers that the whole...
I showed some of my guy friends that because they're like, "Wait, don't watch women's wrestling?" And I was like, "You should, because watch this." And my friend was just like, "No. Like, are you... what?" And he made me play it over and over again. He's like, "Does Stone Cold know about this?"
It's so different. I don't even think of the Stone Cold stunner when she does it. I don't. It's just so impactful. It's just the landing is like how Stone Cold.
It was incredible. It's an incredible move. I can't wait. But yeah, guys, you should look that up. I'll try to post it in the comments. That way you can go and watch their exchange.
Yeah.
It was really heated exchange, and apparently they had a match later that day. And I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure I will dig it up and find it.
Yeah, we'll put it on our Twitter account.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm excited. It was very promising. Both of them had a really good promo against each other.
They did. All right. Before we wrap this up, we said a lot, Brandy.
Yeah.
We got some more tea for you guys. Now we're really going to get into the tea with the news and rumors. My favorite part. You know, I really like to dig in. So apparently, there's several reports that are saying that the reason why Charlotte dropped the Women's Championship to Sasha Banks may do because she's asked for some free time, which is complete bullshit. Are you kidding me? She's a fucking flair. Your boy Dave Metzler from from WOR, he's been hearing that she asked for time off. I think it's just a stupid rumor. But if she has asked for time off, the girl deserves it. So if she wants it to come out, before she even went on the main roster, she was working countless nights on NXT. She needs to rest up her body. So
Yeah, because look what happened with Nikki.
yeah,
I mean, we saw in Total Divas Nikki talking about how run down she was during her reign.
yeah.
And that's before she even knew she was injured. Like halfway through her reign, she was discussing asking to drop it because she was exhausted.
Another reason why the brand split was so favored for Vince McMahon is because a lot of his wrestlers were getting injured, guys. Come on, we saw what happened around WrestleMania season. All the top people got hurt. Every last one of them. Everybody who was champions the year prior to that WrestleMania were injured. It's because they worked countless nights. And it's wear and tear in your body. So I'm all for Charlotte taking some resting up because I'm going to need her around for years to come. So
definitely.
That's the rumor on Charlotte. So if she takes a vacation, who gives a fuck?
Yep.
Honestly.
Here's the rumor update on Charlotte and her taking. The update that's actually been released is that Charlotte did not ask for time off. The reason that they had the title exchange happen when they did is because they wanted a huge shock for
And
Raw.
what did I say earlier?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they wanted.
Vince McMahon felt that, and this is the rumors, that Vince McMahon felt that Charlotte's reign had legitimized the title enough that it was okay to go ahead and pass it, and it's been strongly hinted that everyone should expect that in the coming, that we're done with these long ass reigns. Expect that they're gonna kind of switch in and out a lot more now because the title has legitimate value now.
I mean, it's been defended at WrestleMania already. And Charlotte is just, I hate her, love her. This girl is fucking talented, and she has elevated that belt. And she's legitimized it. So good on her.
And that's one other thing that I talked about in the chat that I have not mentioned is for all the people that were hating on Charlotte this whole time. If it was not for you hating Charlotte, if it was not for you being so frustrated that she had that title still, if it was not for how bad you wanted to see someone like Sasha Banks take it off of her, Sasha's win Monday would not have meant half as much.
Right.
So before you start talking about the only reason the title's got any legitimacy now is because Sasha has it, know your role and shut your mouth.
I know. These people, they just can't appreciate true talent. I understand Sasha's sassy, she's fun, she's witty, and she's cute, and she's just as talented as Charlotte. So stop it with the hate.
Yeah.
I just can't.
But I get tired of that. Like when the women's revolution thing happened, everybody was like, they pinned it on AJ. They were like, AJ was the women's revolution. Blase. I was like, AJ was a big part of the women's revolution.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But she was not the women's revolution. And if we want to get down to the brass tacks of it, it was not even NXT that started the true revolution in women's wrestling. It was the independent scenes where you've got people like Candice LeRae, Cherry Bomb, those women out there doing the insane shit.
And then I would say TNA.
And TNA, yeah. TNA's had been doing it for years.
Well, now they're in the toilet. We don't even cover TNA anymore. We're all over TNA, guys.
I'm
sorry.
They have definitely regressed.
I'm over
it. But back when you had 3-minute matches going on Raw, you had
the alternative.
Some awesome shit happening from them.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about other promotions now, Lucha Underground. I got some big news for all my luchador fans out there. Great news. So Lucha Underground has a 40-episode season coming out.
Oh my
God. Super exciting. And it's going to debut September 7th, guys. Not in January. We don't have to wait until next year. So Lucha Underground is going to start up in September 7th at 8 p.m. Same channel. And it's going to debut with some new stars. And some of our old favorites are going to be on the show. I just cannot wait for this. This is such great news. Like, me and Nick, out of the whole TPP crew, we love Lucha Underground. So I don't even know if Nick even knows this. So I'm telling you guys this before I even tell Nick. God damn it. It's crazy. But I'm super excited for this. Brandy, have you checked out the last season yet? Or have you started?
I have not. I was like telling myself I was going to start at season 1 and catch up.
You should.
And now I think I've just accepted that I'm going to have to watch and just start watching. Versus trying to catch up.
Just September 7th, just watch it. You have any questions, ask me and Nick, and we'll explain it to you.
Great.
Because you're a big wrestling fan, you have a great mind for wrestling, and this is something that you will get into. I'm telling you. It's
I
super,
have
super
watched
good.
it before watched random episodes before to review it with you guys, and I love it. I mean, I love I'm a big fan of telenovelas, so I really love how gritty and dirty it is. Lucha Underground is just huge. The people in Diva Dirt talk about Lucha Underground all the time. They freaking love them.
You know, since you brought up the novellas, something I was talking about in the group text, word on the street is that Rosa Mendes has been training again, trying to get back into the ring down at the Performance Center. So I was thinking, we had a whole conversation. I was just like, really? They want to put Rosa Mendes back into the ring? Listeners, you know, I had my days of bashing Rosa Mendes, and I'll admit it, yes, I bashed the girl. It's because she was just so terrible in the ring, and you know what? She probably still is. I'm not going to back down on what I said. I said what I said in my Nene Leaks voice. Because wrestling is not her thing. But, there's other avenues for her. If they're going to keep her around, fine. Keep her around. Let her take a bump. Let her take a smack. Just don't put her in the ring. I was thinking, Del Rio does not want to be with a woman in WWE. I don't give a fuck what Del Rio wants. Honestly, I really can care less what he wants. Me thinking as a writer with WWE, if I was, because you know that's what we all strive to be. We all want to be writers for WWE. If the listeners haven't understood that yet, that's our dream job. That's what we would like to do. We wouldn't want to be the performers. We want to be the one writing for the performers.
Yes.
I would pair her with Del Rio, and she would be the over-the-top telenovela type of girl, you know, like that. She'd have like promos talking to herself, looking up in the air, like, oh, you know what I mean?
God.
Like
That would be awesome.
it would be great, and I would have her all in gray. You know, like it's stereotypical, but they do it to black people all the time, so whatever. Like I would have her gold jewelry. Like she would always wear a gold dress with her black hair. You know, Rosa Mendes is a beautiful woman, and I would have her with her gold jewelry, very nice, very elegant. And every time they shoot her, you know how Naomi does her Instagram stuff, and like she's like gleaming and glistening when she's walking down. I would like them to do that with Rosa Mendes. You know, like she's just like some telenovela star or something.
Oh,
like,
they
whatever.
missed the mark. They could have done that so well with Fandango. I think they tried and they weren't really.
They should have. But, like, that's what I was always saying. I was like, there's so much you could do with Rosa Mendes with her being a Latina. And I was like, there's so many ways that they can go with that. Like, give her that. Like, you know, she's overly dramatic, too. Like, come on. But if that's what they're going to do, if you're going to put her back into the ring, whatever, girl. I'm over it. I'm just over it.
Well, I don't know that they're necessarily going to put her back in the ring as an active wrestler. But, a lot of the valets still have to know wrestling, at least the basics. So, they're probably working on... I mean, they might have an idea where they're going to put her with somebody, and then you want to be able to have mixed tag matches. I want to see that come back.
She needs Del Rio.
New era. I want to see the tag teams with managers come back and the mixed tag matches. Those I want to see. I would love to see one of the old school 6-man intergender tags. I want to see one of those so bad.
The last cool mixed tag match I seen was Alicia Fox and Naomi and the Usos. I forget who. I think. Who did Foxy team up with when she went up against them? I can't remember, but it was really good with Usos and Naomi. Really, really good. But, another news. Former WWE superstar Cody Rhodes, aka Stardust, has just started filming for Arrow, for his appearance on Arrow. So that's pretty cool for Cody Rhodes leaving WWE, and now he's going to be on a TV show on the CW. I don't know if it's a recurring role. I don't know if it's a one-off. I have no idea, but I hope that this just opens more doors for him, and I hope that he becomes a write-in character where they're going to keep him on the show. Because I think Cody Rhodes is a good performer. He's a good actor, and he deserved more than what WWE gave him. So I'm happy for him.
Do you think that he missed the boat, though, on the fact that he left right before this brand split happened?
No, because I think, like, after the brand split, they would still kept him as Stardust. And I think he's smart. And I don't think Cody Rhodes is spiteful. I don't think he's stupid. I think he knew exactly. He definitely knew that the draft was coming. I think all of them knew before we did. And he left, 2 weeks before the draft was announced. Mm-hmm. Or something like that it was going to happen. And everybody was like, oh, maybe he left too prematurely. I was like, no, I think he had an idea. And
I I think it can only help him because, the door's going to be, he left on good terms. The door's going to be open for him to come back into Rhodes,
He had to
So,
leave.
but to go out and build like a new character, one that he really loves on the independents, to build up all that steam, he can carry that right back over into the WWE.
Smart.
So, I don't think this is the last we'll see of Cody Rhodes in the
Absolutely
WWE.
not. No.
But I think we're going to see a much better Cody Rhodes when he comes back.
Well, speaking of Cody Rhodes, I want to talk about his wifey, Miss Brandy Rhodes, who's been showing me so much sass lately. Ever since she left WWE, I was just like, this is the girl that they need to run around with her. This is what they should have did in WWE, is pair her up with her husband and have a feud with The Miz and Maryse. Like, come on, WWE, get it the fuck together. This would have been the perfect premier intercontinental title feud on SmackDown.
And I desperately wanted to see the WWE promote an interracial couple.
It would
so
be great.
bad. So they could have been a beautiful poster team for that.
Can you imagine this? Let me paint it out for you, Brandy, and all of our listeners out there. Picture this.
Sicily. Wait, no.
Action. I'm gonna do the Miz and Maryse thing. Action. The Miz is arguing with somebody on who was it? Zack Ryder's dad. All right, whatever. We're gonna put a Rhodes out there. We'll put Cody's mom. Miz is arguing with the mom. Brandy is out, doing her announcing job or whatever. And Stardust is in the ring, right? We all know that his mom's there. And then you have the whole situation that happened with Ryder. Granted, what happened to Ryder was great, but where's it going now, girl? Nowhere. So anyways, you have Maryse come out. Maryse does her regular debut, like just how they did it, right? You know how she came out and she smacked the dad or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Have Brandy come and drag that bitch right out of drop her mic and just go and drag Maryse. Oh my God. The internet would have been talking forever for Brandy to break character like that. It would be so unexpected.
Yes, and it would have been blurring the lines too.
And Brandy doesn't want to wrestle. She always worried that she didn't want to wrestle, but she never said anything about cat fighting. And it would have been nice to have just a cat fight right there. It could have been a one-off just to start it all. You know what I mean? When Cody got more serious with his wife, and then you could have a backstage segment with Brandy cleaning the makeup off his face. This is not you. Blah, blah, blah. You need to be yourself, and da-da-da-da-da. And get them together, and then we could have a whole new Cody Rhodes, and that would have been fire for SmackDown. But, WWE wants to be stupid, and they want to keep him in that corny-ass gimmick. Draw by. But anyways, all
they have to do is listen to our show.
We
give them gold. We give them chicken salad for their chicken
shit. Yeah, we're just throwing it at these motherfuckers, but they didn't want it. You didn't want it. When you had it, you didn't want it. There I go again with my Joey and the Scammer quotes. But anyways, so Brandy did a little scamming on her own. Apparently, as I said, Cody was over in LA filming for Arrow, so the Rhodes are in LA. Brandy was at the gym, doing her little 2 steps on the elliptical, getting it together. So guess who she runs across, guys? She ran across Melissa Santos, the ring announcer of Lucha Underground. Interesting, huh? 2 ring announcers from 2 different companies running into each other. Great. You'd think they'll, give each other kiki, hi, kiss on the cheek, take a picture. That wasn't the case. Apparently, Melissa Santos walked up to Brandy and just said, "Oh my God, you're the ring announcer girl." And whatever. Like, she was excited to see Brandy. And apparently Brandy shaded her and just gave her like a look like, "Oh yeah," and kept it moving. So Brandy had no idea who Melissa Santos was until Melissa Santos said, "Oh, I'm Melissa from blah, blah, blah. I'm from Lucha Underground." And then I guess Brandy showed some excitement, like, "Oh, nice to meet you," or whatever. And Brandy kept it moving. So Melissa went on Twitter and was saying, "It's funny how Brandy Rhodes was so rude to me," or something like around that. I don't know verbatim what she said. Something about Brandy being rude, and she only showed any sign of respect when she heard that I work for Lucha Underground. And then Brandy tweeted her back and said, "Listen, I don't know who you were. You ran up to me saying, 'You're the announcer girl.' You didn't introduce yourself or anything. Maybe if you came and introduced yourself and let me know who you are and blah, 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 maybe then we could have had like an intelligent conversation instead of that whole little awkward passing." So, and then Melissa Santos tweeted back like, "Oh, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah." Like, basically, it was like, I know it's on Twitter, guys. I know I'm missing some things. You guys need to go at it. But it got catty. But Brandy kind of shut it down before it got anywhere else, I will say. Did you check this out, Brandy?
I did, and I was like,
how do you feel about this whole exchange?
Well, I personally sided with my fellow Brandy because I can imagine, like, you know, she's
She
been on
gets it
the
all the
road with
time.
WWE for so long, and you know, you're in public, you're trying to work out at the gym, and like, if you don't recognize this person, like, there's no, just because Brandy Reynolds was a ring announcer for WWE doesn't mean she watches every promotion. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I don't watch a lot of promotions, so I couldn't tell you everybody from New Japan. I couldn't tell you everyone from Lucha. I couldn't. So I could understand how, especially because like you're in the gym, your hair's slicked back, you're not wearing any makeup, you're just in the gym getting your sweat on. I could totally understand how she'd be like, I just want to like work out, because when you're working out, you're in that zone and
Right.
you're not trying to hear the
You're
person
not trying
next
to say
to you.
hello. You're really not.
And so for this woman to just come up and be like, "Oh my God, you're the ring announcer girl," do you know how many freaking times Brandy Reynolds has probably heard that in her life?
Right.
And so if she was kind of like, yeah, thanks, and just continued working out, I understand completely. It's like you should have had a little decorum to yourself.
Exactly.
Walk up to her and be like, "Are you Brandy Reynolds? Hi, my name is Blase Blase. I'm the ring announcer for Lucha
Underground. Nice to meet you."
Yeah, it's like it wouldn't have taken much. And
then, you know what I don't understand about Melissa? Because I'm sorry to cut you off, but I loved how Brandy shut it down on Twitter. Because then again, I'm thinking to myself, Brandy, why? Not Brandy. Melissa, why did you have to tweet that? Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to generate hate towards Brandy? I feel like that was kind of a mean girl move. And granted, I like Melissa as a talent and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like that was kind of shady on her part. But I love how classy Brandy Rhodes was and how she just shut that shit down like a boss bitch that she is. She was just like, I'm not going to do that with her. I'm not going to fight with her on Twitter over this shit. Like, you came up to me like, "Oh, you're the ring announcer girl," and just left. Like, no, you don't do that. No, especially if you're in the business, and you know how they always talk about wrestlers in the business and how they show respect. You shake the hand, you look them in the eye, and blah blah blah. It's a big thing in wrestling. So why not go and do that to Brandy if you're gonna walk up to her and introduce yourself to her, and you're in the same world? So Melissa, girl, you can have several seats, because with that tweet, we didn't have to know this. We really didn't have to know this. And the only reason why we do know is because Melissa couldn't keep her mouth shut. Like, girl, do you want a Twitter feud with somebody?
Like, all she did was make herself look bad,
Stupid.
which in turn makes her company look bad, and make Brandy Rhodes look better. So
she embarrassed herself at the end of the day.
She did. She got punked out pretty hard.
She did.
Like, by Eden Styles.
Girl, come on. That was so petty. So petty. All right. This is our last thing that I have to say. One of my last news and rumors. Apparently, WWE is not signing anybody under 21 anymore. They're over it. They don't want no more kids. They're done. They had one guy, for example, he was 19 years old. WWE didn't sign him. And now they're really like focusing on people who are 21 and older, because you know they had the issue with JoJo and Paige when they were both signed, and WWE couldn't put them on the road until they're 21 because they couldn't legally rent a car and to get to places.
Oh my God! So instead of WWE ponying up the extra cash to include that in their already pittance of a check that they're probably getting compared to what people like John Cena are getting.
Right.
They couldn't just be like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna give you a couple of extra $1,000 to pay for your rental car."
So apparently this all broke out because there was a woman who was cited for a tryout with WWE, but the company discovered her age, and the officials pulled her aside from the camp, and they apologized to her and told her that they're gonna have to excuse her because they're no longer letting people under 21 try out. And she was reportedly told to come back, and that she's gonna be given a WWE tryout when she turns 21. And I believe she was 19 years old. So,
well, I mean, that's just time to get better and a guaranteed buy-in. So that's not bad for her.
Get better. That's it. Go train somewhere else, girl. You don't got to be 21 everywhere else. Go train. Go on the indie scenes. Basically, WWE said, you know what? We're not going to raise you. Go out there, cut your teeth, and come back.
Well, yeah. I mean, because like, honestly, they're younger people. They've had some issues with some of their younger people, not only with the cars, but with like their maturity level.
Probably. Like, we don't know what goes on behind the stage, you know what I mean? And then dealing with people who are 19, 18 years old, 20 years old. Then you got to worry about their drinking, if they're out drinking. You know, it's just the way that you represent the company. WWE doesn't want to be affiliated with that. And I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
And besides, I like that because it gives the older talent, you know, I'm like, yes, stop getting them when they're babies. people like Charlotte need to be wrestling for however the hell long they want. We don't need y'all being like, oh, you're not 22. You need to get your ass on out of this ring. Like,
But
I
one
don't
of
like,
the
I
new
don't like
girls
my
that they
wrestlers
signed.
having expiration dates. So I'm glad that they set the bar a little higher.
Yeah, they have this new girl, Binky. I think she's young. I think she's like 20 years old. She's one of the last ones that they signed. The girl is beautiful. She's a track runner. She's very athletic. She has very athletic build and fit. And it's been said that she's like progressing quickly down in the performance center. She's doing really good. I followed her on every social media account that she has because I've been like interested with her. Kind of like how I was with Zara early in her career. I'm like intrigued with this girl, so I can't wait to see what she's going to be doing in the ring.
What has happened with Zara?
Zara broke her leg and she's no longer wrestling.
Damn.
Yeah, she recently broke her leg at some event or something, but it wasn't wrestling related. I think she was riding dirt bikes or something. I don't know what it was, but it's been reported that she's no longer wrestling and blah blah. And you know what? I feel like it's just a pill that's just so hard to swallow after getting fired from the Crimla crop, you know, the Crimla Crim, whatever the hell they call it.
I
WWE.
really was hoping that they would
Resign her?
That they would resign her. That okay, you've paid your pittance. Because there's all this like rumor now that like Hulk Hogan is going to be in the next couple years doing stuff with WWE again. We give for all these other people get forget. I'm like, she's paying her dues.
I wish
there's no reason why she shouldn't be re-signed.
I don't know.
Unless they just really don't want her.
I don't think they want to deal with the bullshit. I don't think it's worth it. Because, you know, she had this girl didn't even step foot in the ring, and she had, like, everybody talking about her. And I feel like WWE don't want to do that again. They don't want to...
Well, I hate that she's not going to wrestle anymore because I felt like she could have gone somewhere like Lucha or even TNA or whatever and had a good time.
Yeah,
but
I just loved her look. She had great taste in music. Beautiful girl. And I wanted to see her wrestle, and it doesn't look like I'm ever going to see her wrestle, and I'm okay with it. You know, it is what it fucking is.
I want WWE to pick up some more alternative-looking girls.
Yeah. That's what
We've got a lot of anime-looking girls right now. Becky Lynch, Sasha, everybody.
Asuka.
Everybody got Skittles hair.
I'm
ready for some tattoo and leather.
I feel like they'll bring it along. It gotta come. It's gonna come. And there's gonna be other girls with that look.
I'm tired of Paige being considered goth in any way, shape, or form. Just stop.
She's just pale and dark hair. And she's into skulls. So I guess she's goth. You know, whatever. She is a little gothy, but there's goth.
She is what,
but
like,
Zara wasn't goth. Zara was more... How would I describe Zara? Maybe a little goth. But more punk rockish.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of my...
They haven't had a true, like, goth chick on their show.
Their last goth chick was Ariel. Let's be real. But I think this was our show, Brandy. We are good.
We didn't mention the Cruiserweight Classic.
I thought we talked about it.
we in passing talked about it.
I thought that's what you had to say.
Listeners for us to start covering Cruiserweight Classic, so that's why I want to talk about it so bad.
And you and Nick wanted to talk about it?
I know that Nick wanted to.
Why don't you guys get together and do a special for it?
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
so you guys can really get into it.
Our big shows, we cover all of wrestling, but we cover women's wrestling. So I guess on things like that, like tournaments like that, we should kind of do it as like a separate little. And plus, that just gives you guys more content each week.
Exactly. And plus, I gotta go. I got friends waiting. Then my dinner's on the table, and I have some wine waiting for me, and they're ready to spill the tea for me because they have all this drama for me. I was too busy at Fifth Harmony concert yesterday and getting my life, and I come this morning, wake up to all this nonsense and craziness that, oh, James, we need to talk to you. This has been sad, this, that, and the third. And I'm just sitting there like, because none of this is true, guys. It's just a bunch of rumors going around about yours truly. And I'm just like, what? Is there a doppelganger of me? I was like, this is not me. I was like, why is this dude lying on my name? But anyway, I'm going to go find out the tea. And you guys know I will tell you all about it on the next show.
Oh, yes. And so hopefully on the next show, we've got James's tea and me and Nick can geeky about CWC.
Exactly. So. Perfect. But Brandy, before we go, Sam's Fantasy Booking, guys, is coming out. And I'm super, super excited for you guys to listen to it. It's magical. Oh, that's a little hint. He's doing it on Maxine, now known as Katrina from Lucha Underground, and it's super, super good, and I can't wait for you guys to listen to it, and fantasy bookings are going to start rolling out real soon, so be on the lookout for Sam Pelly, the Brand's fantasy booking. It's going to be real good. But, Brandy, my doll, where can the listeners follow you at? Or do you have anything else to add?
I don't have anything else to add. You can find me on Twitter at Miss WrestleBlog. I will be the person arguing with every large wrestling news source, apparently. And also, you can find articles that I write on divadirt.com.
Yes. Definitely check into those. Brandy writes the coolest articles.
Oh, thank you.
So, listeners, definitely show her some love and go there and comment and tell them that your TPP sent you. Okay?
Yeah.
Get it out there. And you guys can follow me at Jimmy Vibes on Twitter. And that's it. That's our show.
Oh, and the rest of the game at _Real Pipe Bomb on Twitter and on Instagram, the Pipe Bomb Podcast.
Exactly. And if you guys miss us too much, go on our social media accounts. We usually keep up to date with those.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can catch our shade on Twitter and follow us all on our individual Twitters because Gigi's always running her fucking mouth, and I know you listeners, some of y'all love it, and I know some of y'all dragged her on the last show with all her negativity.
I was just like, oh no, I'm just along for this ride.
Oh my god, Brandy, I was listening to that show. I was just like, oh my god, Brandy needs to reel them in. But you were just like, oh I can't. And I was just like, that's what I would come in and shut it down with those two little bitches.
I know. I was just like, okay. I didn't even think about like challenging any of it because I'm just so used to being like, well, that's your opinion. This is my opinion.
Not me. It's a show. We gotta be opinionated. We all gotta say what we think. And I was like, and what they were saying was just a bunch of bullshit hate. And I agree with the listener that commented. Like, all year was a bunch of hate. I agreed with you. And I was in the group text with them. I was like, this, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. I went in for days. Gigi was right on her rant about how James came and woke up on the wrong side of the coffin. I was madder than a hornet. And I went into that group text and I was just like, listen, bitch, you guys, we need to get it together. Me included. All of us. I was like, all of us need to wake up. I was like, just because we ain't going to get anywhere just bullshitting in this group text. We need to start getting back onto these shows. And then we came up with a whole new system, which seems to be working. So we're just going to continue on. And you know what? We're all busy. We all have lives. And I know the listeners, you guys understand that. But I understand, like, that stretch, the 3 weeks. I know when you want your favorite show, man, and it's on hiatus, you get really annoyed, and you stop coming for us. So when that happens again, I want you guys to tweet us individually, and I'm trying not to have it happen again, and let us know, fucking spam us. Do it all. Get it together, because we're trying to get it together, too.
We are trying, and I will try to be. I will try to be more assertive. I was a baby face on a show with heels. Oh,
not no more. I called Brandy a ghost. Oh my god, Brandy wanted to rip my fucking eyebrows out of my head. She was like, "What? A ghost, bitch? You came right in," and I was just like, "I haven't heard from her. I haven't seen her." And then again, they say I never pay attention to the group chats or whatever. But I was just like, I really haven't heard from Brandy, and I was like, so she's a ghost. And then Brandy was just like, that was the worst thing I could have said to Brandy. Let me tell you, it just went down in the group. It was Gigi really covered that one really good because it really went down that day. But you know what? We're family. We're gonna fight. We are gonna fight. Listen, me and Tom fight every day. Every goddamn day, me and Tom fight. And I wish, that's why I want the bitch on the show, because I feel like the listeners should be listening to this.
Everybody fights Tom, and I like listen to him.
Why do you feel bad?
How does he do this every day of his life?
Because Tom says the craziest things that you're just like, really, Tommy? Are you kidding me, Tom? Really, Tom? Like, Tom, why would you say that, Tom? You know what I mean? Like, and then he'll do things that you're just like, really? Tom, come on. You didn't even... I can go on all day. It's just, Tommy's just like, he doesn't give a fuck what we have to say, and I respect him for that. I respect that he's his own person, and he stands his ground. That's what I like that. I like somebody who would be like, no, well, that's how I feel, that's my opinion. And I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck, you're gonna have to listen to my opinion too on how you're wrong. So,
and Tom is very much that person that's like, I'm sorry, you feel that way.
Yeah, and he's so like passive aggressive, and I'm all like, rah, 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 that it just works, and I want it on the show, but the bitch is never available. So that's part of my issue with him. And then, you know, the whole, I live in UK, and you live in America. I was like, bullshit, because I do shows with Sam on the regular. I don't want to hear that shit. We all live all over the world. I live here.
You and Sam get together and have another tea time with the Brits.
Yeah. For real, like, or you could do a show with Sam, do a show with Brandy, like, do a show with Gigi. Like, it could go either way. Like, figure it the fuck out. I do. Brandy does. Sam does. Nick does. Gigi does. Why can't you figure it out? Tom, the last show that he's been on before that one was December. Like, girl, that's ridiculous. Get it together. That's why he got called out, and he didn't like it. But too bad.
And the moral of the story is I do finally get my ice cream bars.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. That was hilarious when you were like, James wants to say this, but I'm not. My name doesn't even roll in the credits. I was just like, ooh, she got me there. She got me there. And I was just like, yes. No, I did say I've been slacking too. It's like when it comes to the editing thing, that's me. I need to get that together. That's my job to do. You know what I mean? That's why I said I called myself out too. I was like, no, we all need to get it together. But we're going to get it together for our listeners. We're going to get it together. We want to be the biggest, baddest pipe bomb podcast in the fucking world. I have a vision for us, and I want us to reach it, but we all got to put in the work so we could reach it. And the other thing is, guys, I know Josh is gone. Josh is no longer with us. We love Josh. He's still one of our cool friends, but we just had to separate. He's super, super busy doing whatever he's doing, and we're really busy, so we just had to, go our separate ways. But I'm sure you guys will hear from him again. He might pop on the show here and there, but he's just doing his own thing right now. So, yeah, so Josh is gone. But we still love him. But other than that, TPP is going to grow. We're going to get big. And we just got to keep watering this plant. All right? Because it ain't going to grow if we don't keep watering it. But we'll get there. I promise. Anything else you want to add, Brandy?
No. I think we've covered everything and a half.
Okay, Casper.
The not-so-friendly ghost.
I love you, Brandy. Thank you. It's been fun. This is a good show. This is good. We said a lot.
Yeah, we had a lot to say.
All right. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you in the group, girl.
Okay.
All right. Toodles.